Scusate.
Hello, Isaac. There is a little bit of judgment to come again because but I feel there is a fight holding back because there is something moving through the body and it is connected to what we were touching on Sunday. I just feel it. It's like, wow, like when, yes, actually it's beautiful because it feels like releasing and maybe just to be a moment with this present.
Yes, with absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Isaac. Oh. 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 Mhm.
Anything want to be spoken?
A little bit, from last Sunday when we were meeting, there was for the very conscious of, it felt like for the first time to be held in a so clean male energy,
Yeah.
Oh, it was so touch, and I feel now, it feels like thorn, or something very, feels a little bit like rage, but just to bring it and to have the trust, just that it can be there. It feels when it's okay, but it's
Feels absolutely fine.
Oh, thank you, Isaac. And it feels, because I feel before I was always escaping of this strong energies, and I feel so grateful that it comes to earth and to come to life, actually. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, just beautiful. I mean, the way it also comes, for me, feels very clean.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel so grateful that it just can be there. Thank you.
Wow. Judith. Hi, Judith. I'm curious what you noticed, because I can tell you what I noticed, and you can see if it resonates with you. It really feels like your system is looking to meet sweetly, and it's gently exploring it, but it's touching old information. Is it really allowed? Is it okay? So is it okay to really meet beautifully each other? Are you allowed? Just sit with that question for a moment and just see what it brings on the screen. Yeah. And not to just answer it with your mind, just see what energetic agreements there are, or conditioning or whatever. Just allowing whatever, whatever has been conditioned or passed on.
Yeah.
So that can come into view,
Yeah, there are a few things I noticed.
Say again?
Oh, you hear me? There are a few things I noticed that.
The picture just closed on my screen, maybe it's mine.
Oh. Hello? Am I still frozen on the screen?
No, Judith, we can hear
Yeah.
you, but the sound is not strong, but we
Okay.
can hear you.
But yeah, for me, now Gaia writes Isaac seemed to be frozen. Yeah, and now he disappears. Oh no. For me, Isaac was also frozen.
Isaac is gone. We wait till he comes in again.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, my internet went down, so I'm hotspotting from my phone. February, Judith. Cool. What did you see in that inquiry? You had plenty of time.
Yeah, so I was saying a few things are in between sometimes, and this time it was also a kind of feeling stupid about myself because I made decisions yesterday. After the celebration, I felt so, yeah, it was so special, so much energy and love and open and wow, it was. And then yesterday I made stupid decisions, and that kind of cramped my nervous system again. And so I was feeling kind of remorseful, is the word? Remorse? Huh. stupid about myself. That was the
So that old habit,
yeah,
just gently with it,
yeah,
you know, because stupid is a judgment.
yeah,
Okay, so somehow, whatever, you know, like maybe some old information was playing and decisions happened from that.
yeah,
The main thing, so when it moves into judgment, then it moves into hardness, yeah, like this judgment. And
yeah,
so the fact that you can see that those decisions or whatever, you know, aren't in alignment with really
yeah,
being present in a beautiful way, then okay, good. Then there's a learning, yeah.
yeah,
But as we're sitting here together, yeah, so there's an interest to meet beautifully. I can feel it. That your system keeps exploring,
yeah,
and so we're just looking. Is it allowed to meet beautifully? And then just seeing what comes into view in that question, because you know, like, is it allowed? And if it's not, then where's the non-allowance coming from, or what is that? You know.
yeah. There's also this with trust always, like every time again and again. Is it so that making it less loud? You understand? And look like
The internet connection from my side is not the best. I don't know how it is for you, but
me, it's okay. Oh, now you're
it's okay. Great. Okay. Yeah, we've just had a huge amount of rain falling, big storm. So I'm not sure what's going on, but my usual internet dropped out, and now I'm using the phone. I don't know, not the best connection. Anyway, at least we can see each other.
yeah. And sometimes it's frozen or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is, can you hear me?
Yes.
That I'm kind of thinking, I'm afraid to lose myself in meeting beautifully.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
beautiful that that's noticed.
yeah,
And where did you see that? Did you observe that in the dynamic between your father and your mother, or
yeah, yeah. they totally are entangled and in adaptation to each other. And
Yeah. And so just see if you can, you have an interest to meet cleanly and vulnerably and authentically. And just so you're just seeing that you don't need to take that instruction from your parents' system. You have a different interest in them.
yeah.
Just to discern that, yeah.
Mm.
And it's okay for you to have a different interest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that to recognize that you have the capacity to recognize when it moves into entanglement. And if it does move into entanglement and it's seen, there is the capacity to auto correct, to just come back to being here and meeting beautifully.
Yeah, but that's not what I totally trust in myself, that I recognize.
I understand.
Yeah.
You're in a learning process. You're in a learning process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might move in the direction where it gets entangled.
Yeah.
And if it does, there's an interest to see it.
Yeah, but maybe too late. Maybe I see.
Okay. So what does that fear do? Does that fear help you? Or is that fear already an entanglement?
Yeah, probably.
I said, look, take a moment. We're just exploring. We're not making anything right or wrong. We're just looking, yeah? There is no right answer or wrong answer. That fear is trying to help to stop you.
Yeah. The fear is more a kind of entanglement with myself. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not helping meeting beauty.
Yes. And does it get in the way of learning new information?
Yes, it gets away. Yeah.
Gets in the way of that.
Yeah.
So it's trying to help, but it doesn't really help. Just to discern that, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not wrong, it's not bad. And then just see if that brings a greater freedom to explore, to just play and make mistakes, just make.
Yeah, in a way, I feel more the sensations are changing now. Under the skull, it's kind of widening.
Mhm.
Oh, so yeah.
In this sense, in this moment, do you have the discernment? Is there discernment to see when it goes, when you're not standing on your own feet resting and it starts to go into entanglement? And just this moment.
Yeah. This moment,
That's all.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. So we're just taking a baby step, saying it's moment by moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to know. I really have this discernment. Yeah.
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 And as we resting here, can there be a flow of sensuality and sexuality? Just that just to feel the innocence of that flow, that it can be here. Doesn't want anything. It's aliveness in a certain way. It's just
Yeah.
does something beautiful in in the energy streaming, you know, when it's allowed. And it's where it's not giving mixed signals, it's not trying to just itself, it's just
a
warmth. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's getting a little bit more scary again, like, oh,
Okay. Yeah, let it. And so you're just watching and you discern.
Yeah.
And then just check carefully the way that I'm meeting you. As it, and you can be absolutely ruthlessly honest. Does it feel clean? Am I meeting you in a way that's gentle without?
Yes, it's, yeah, you are meeting me in a clean way, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and so just, and then you spoke about not trusting your own self, and just feel into the way you're meeting me. Your signals are coherent. You just you're interested to meet beautifully, yeah?
Yeah.
Then it gets wider and it starts to, boundaries start to get disappear, you could say. It's just resting. Now you're touching another layer of old information. Just tell me what you sense.
Well, yeah, I didn't feel that.
Okay.
No.
Maybe I'm misperceived, which can also be.
Okay.
You know, I'll say it like this. For most of us, we grew up in this culture or this idea, like Hollywood movies and stuff, of falling in love. And so, you know, that's the conditioning. We're going to meet someone and that's the one for us. And so somewhere in our information package, there's this, are you the one? Are you the one? This, you know, it's like that. But we're just looking to see if there possibility of just meeting where the only interest isn't to secure or get the one, the interest stays pure of just meeting beautifully in this moment.
Yeah.
So we're making that distinction, yeah? Just feel, what's the difference between those two?
Yeah, with the meeting beautiful, I'm more centered here and more wide. The other one is focused, narrow.
Yeah.
And I noticed while you were speaking, there was then, it was sometimes kind of cloudy. Yeah.
When we're looking for the one, you could say it goes into kind of like a hyper excitement. You know, it's like, it's terribly exciting. It's like, you know, it's like, and when we're just resting and meeting beautifully, then there's just a beautiful flow. I can say it like that. That's how I feel it. That everyone might feel it differently.
Yeah. Yeah, but I also inherited this jealousy, and that's probably part of finding the one.
Yeah, because in that, the one, then that's in that projection, that's the source of love.
Yeah,
If we see another person as a source of love, then the intelligence, our whole intelligence is going to try and get that and keep
Yeah.
it. And it goes in the direction of you're mine,
yeah,
I'm yours.
yeah,
So then from that perspective, that's a possession now. They're no more free.
no,
So that's already a big step into entanglement. Yeah.
yeah,
So you mentioned jealousy, then let's just slow jealousy down. What is jealousy?
huh?
Is
That's,
it wrong? Is it bad? What is it exactly? What is it exactly? It's like the whole system gets completely upset
yeah,
and can't hold itself there, can't meet itself. That's what I mean, that's what we call jealousy, yeah?
yeah, I know, I know jealousy. Um,
And then it usually comes with there's something wrong with me. I have to work on it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not okay. Shame. So it layers pretty quickly, yeah? When this idea, I'm a jealous person or something.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. So I'm curious, during these meetings, do you find jealousy coming up?
no,
Not. So,
no, I had it in my relationship a lot.
okay, so yeah.
And I guess he was starting to be more free and more free to meet beautifully. And I didn't understand that. I got more and more jealous and jealous, and I had a lot of fear and anger.
Mhm.
Yeah. And now because of this
Yeah. Speak.
yeah, because of these meetings, I start to understand the meeting beautifully. And now I start to understand him in retrospective more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, beautiful.
yeah,
And so just making the distinction, I'm a jealous person, or I have difficulty with jealousy, and recognizing that you're touching automatic, unconscious information that
Yeah.
hasn't yet been met.
yeah,
What's the difference between
yeah,
those
big
two?
difference.
Huge difference, yeah.
Yeah, because I had so much ideas about myself because of my patterns, and now also because of meetings, I start to see I start to understand that more.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just look at this idea of this is my pattern.
Yeah, yeah,
So whatever patterns there are, who do they belong to?
yeah,
Where did they come from?
yeah,
And what happens when we say these are my patterns?
yeah. Then you have a lot of work and a lot of failure. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hopeless. Yeah.
And then the other side of that, if we believe these are mine, then if we see patterns playing in other people, we say it's their patterns.
Mm.
It's not just a conditioning or
Yeah,
that, like. So that projection, mine and yours, these are my patterns, those are your patterns.
yeah,
It's just patterns. Yeah.
yeah,
They don't belong to anyone. So a more accurate way of expressing it would be to say the patterns that are playing within consciousness meet other patterns that are playing in consciousness.
yeah. But at that time, I didn't see it.
Yeah. But just now,
Yeah.
this moment, we're just coming to
Yeah.
this moment and
Yeah.
seeing clearly in this moment. That's already.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that was the biggest pain to see it as my patterns. The biggest,
Yeah.
yeah, burden.
Because then there's something wrong with me, and with that comes then guilt and shame and.
Yeah.
And then the other side is, blaming other people when there's patterns playing in them, rather than seeing, no, okay, there's a pattern playing and it's automatic and unconscious, which literally means they have no choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to use the example of if you meet somebody, a child that has Down syndrome, we don't blame them for having Down syndrome. Okay, they act in a down way, you could say. But so what's the difference if someone has Downs or there's unconscious patterns playing in them?
Yeah.
One we can identify more easily. Oh, that's Downs. We know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you can identify easily. You can also hide your own hide the unconscious patterns in yourself. You try to hide.
Yeah.
I try to hide.
Yeah, if we think that these are mine, of course, then there's shame about it, and we can't just let's see this pattern is playing.
Yeah.
Right. Where does it come from?
Yeah. Because of the sun.
So just for fun, let's go to the gallery view for a moment. And just check that anybody get any value from this exploration.
Ah.
Seems like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it feels a bit vulnerable.
Yeah. No, of course, to speak about it. And,
Yeah.
you know, in our culture, there's been a lot of shaming around if jealousy arises. Yeah. So, of course.
Yeah.
So beautiful that you could bring this and
Yeah.
just slowly walk through it and just see how it integrates to it and come again and go deeper in the exploration.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Anya.
Okay. Hello, Isaac.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I hear you perfectly.
Everything good? Okay.
Yeah, the internet connection is not the best. Sometimes when you speak it's distorted.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I'm hotspotting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, it is what it is.
Sometimes your picture freezes a little bit, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels to me a little bit like you're looking sort of next to me. Can I sit differently that we can focus?
If you get your head right in the middle of the screen, and your head, there's you make it there's a little bit closer to the top of your screen, then it brings my eyes more to looking at my camera. Frozen on the screen. Okay, you're more central, and
Okay.
just move your screen so that your head comes closer to the top of the screen.
Mhm.
Is that better now?
That's much better. Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now it's straight. Very much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've sunk down a little bit on your screen, so now if you can tilt your
my
screen
sofa.
so that your head is closer to the top and in the picture.
Okay. Like this.
Yeah, like
Yes.
that. Or tilt your screen. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, that's
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, cool.
Better. Yeah, it's like what you were speaking with Judith and what is still going on from our last session together. This feeling of ripped apart, it's more like a feeling of touching something really, really old.
Mhm.
And I was kind of, every day there was like this tingling of fear when I wake up, and this asthma got much stronger in a way, and I could see that it's kind of it's like I'm holding my breath in and not letting it out. So now together with this what felt like jealousy, it's not a jealousy anymore in my case with this man. It's more a gratitude that actually it really brings up this fear of losing. It's totally this fear of losing. And I can see that what is the deepest inside of me, there must have been a loss that killed me. That's how it feels at some point in some other lives or whatever. It's really that it's kind of so existential.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to sit with you for a moment, because it's showing up daily here and there, and once in a while it's almost overwhelming that I would just like to hold my breath in, because this is going to kill me again, like it killed me before or something like that. Yeah, that's the information. And
so your system is activated.
Definitely, and it's
So-
it's been activated for 10 years, because this man has been leaving me on a regular basis for 10 years actively. I mean, he was like kind of really saying, it's over, I'm gone. And that was like 10 years long, this process. So now it's like final. And it shows that it was a strong gift, that he probably came into my life just to give me that all this time, just to see this.
So let's
now.
see. Let's see. So there's old information in the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just here now, and there's gratefulness that it's coming into view. It has to come into view.
Yeah.
There's enough. The system is resourced enough now that it can come in.
Yeah.
Without taking it personally and without identifying with it.
It
We
has
just
nothing to
resting
do
in
with
that.
him. Yeah. It has nothing to do with him, except that he's kind of here to give me this gift. That's something so deep.
And the other side, does it have anything to do with you?
No, it's sort of like something that's in my system. It's in my system, sort of. It's like something that's just kind of always, it's that what is responsible for all the patterns that happen in this direction. Yeah, the deep,
Cool.
not okayness. Yeah.
So, for a moment, if it feels okay with you, to talk about your perception of your parents' dynamic. So you're not talking about your parents themselves, you're talking about your perception. So it's clear to me you're not projecting onto them, you're just talking about how your system sensed the dynamic between them.
Yeah, it's like I can see from my mother that she was very much holding on, because she was very afraid to get lost. She was holding on to my father so that he could rescue her. This was like he was the rescuer in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did your mom instruct you in relating to the masculine? Because that was an instruction. She was, so just getting a sense of how your mom's system or the unconscious patterns in your mom instructed you.
Yeah, it's like it's double bind message. It's like, be careful because it's not safe. The masculine is not safe, but you need it to be rescued and somehow to something like that. It's like a confused thing what she was passing on to me in a way.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, in this moment, can you discern the difference between your mother's, the pattern that played in your mother and its instruction and who you are? And is there any reason that you can see to still being bound to that instruction? And just, it's a question, so you're just sitting with it And sometimes the question comes and you go, no, there's no reason, but I can feel there's still some entanglement, or maybe it's clean. They can just be wiped out in a second. But you, in this moment, you're just looking to see, is there the capacity to discern between this instruction and who you actually are?
Mm.
And is there any reason to hold on to that instruction?
Yeah. And what I can now clearly see, it's almost like a picture or a process that is like a huge cloud in a way that also is kind of this fear vibration.
Mhm.
And that is this whole message of my mother, or what this whole information is in that. And it is
Yeah.
kind of distant to who I am, totally distant to who I
It's
am.
distant. And is there any entanglement left with that? Just resting with it and seeing somewhere in the system that still believes some aspect of it.
It sits sort of in the lower pelvis. I mean, it sits
Yeah.
in the belly.
I can feel it. Yeah. And so now you just
Yeah.
with that. Just resting with that information, that sensation, you could say. And just resting with it and seeing what's the entanglement there, what's the loyalty to that instruction? There's something is entangled with that instruction.
Gets more
And is it
difficult to
okay
see.
to
Yeah.
be free of that entanglement?
From the mind, it seems to be okay. I can feel that the body.
Sorry, it broke up. So could you just repeat,
Yeah.
please?
It feels like there's an understanding that it would be okay that it leaves, but
Okay.
the system, it goes again into this trauma feeling, like dizziness comes up, and this strong pain
Okay.
that I always
So then
have at the back.
just resting with that. Just letting it reveal what's happening there.
Feels like an old pain. It feels like an old pain that is like a knife stabbing me from behind, sort of right into my heart.
Mhm.
It's really strong physical pain, yeah.
Yeah.
And it helps to feel that strong pain because the dizziness goes away. It's like
Mhm.
I'm able to actually feel this.
Mm. And in that pain, is there any blaming anyone else or blaming yourself for it? Or
No, I can't find any of that.
it's just a pain?
I can find this pain that is somehow in a connection with my feet kind of pulling out of the earth in a way. It's like this life is not a safe place. It's totally there, this information. Without blaming, or there's nobody involved really, but definite information of insecurity.
Yeah, so again, where did that instruction come from? Your mother, your father?
My mother, yes, definitely. It's like what shows up right now is this, actually what's going on also in my life is this whole information that my mother passed on comes up very strong, also because I have this situation that my father is also kind of really not well. He's really not going to survive many months. I mean, maybe only a few weeks. I don't know. He's really going in a way. He's leaving at some point, and that brings up. I mean, he was my anchor, because if you're asking who is it, my mother or my father, with this information, my father is the one who has this trust in life, total anchored, down to earth. And I really needed that so much, because my mother has this whole, wow, very much she needed him for that. And I resourced with him so much. He was my resource always, even though he also left the family. He's also totally left us. But I resourced from the distance. Then I used his energy all my life to resource. And he's like kind of leaving. And at the same time, this man that I was with for 10 years, he was resourcing me, because he's also very strong inside and resourcing. They're both gone now, sort of, in my field. It feels like they're then, so that's probably what brings it all up. And it's like, that's like, it's not, right now I can feel I can't breathe if I feel that. It's too much.
What did your dad get from being a resource?
I feel like nothing. I don't know. I can feel like I can't feel it. No.
It's just a question, no? So we'll
Mm.
just explore it. It's, again, no right answer, no wrong answer.
Maybe
Did your dad instruct you to be your own resource, or to resource through him?
In a way, he instructed me to be my own resource, because he always left also. So it was like he actually threw me very much onto myself in his life. And I'm grateful, because I could take his strength anyway, even though he left me all the time. It is also in me. Yeah, I know that the strength is also in me. So it was like more like I could resource from the childhood, having him next to me or something like that. It was probably my great, it was good that he was there, I can feel that still. It's like this anchor. Yeah.
And how did he, I'm just curious, how did he relate to the pattern in your mom that was needy and not balanced?
Yeah,
he left.
He left. He made himself independent.
Okay.
I would say, yeah.
So, and in him leaving, was there any make wrong of that pattern in your mom, or was it clean?
No, he blamed her always for everything that went wrong. Yeah, he put the blame on her.
Okay. Okay. So what was his instruction then towards?
It's strong to see how parallel it is to this man that I was with now. He blames me all the time. Every time he left, it was always because I give him too little, or because he feels too much held on to, or something. It's like totally double-minded, actually. crazy.
So what was your dad's instruction towards that neediness? Blame.
Blame. Yeah. He was like, go away.
Just see.
Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just see. Yeah. So just see internally in you where something blames, then that neediness shows up.
Yeah. I blame myself. I can see it. Mm.
Oh, okay. Just seeing that blame.
Yeah.
Again, it was an instruction, and your system took it.
Mm.
And just seeing that, discerning that your system doesn't have to take that instruction from your dad. It can be free of it. Doesn't need to blame anyone. And you can still love your dad, but
Mm.
it doesn't need to take the pattern of blaming or that instruction of blaming.
Yeah.
When there's neediness.
Mm. Yeah, it's good because I can also see that I'm going, all my life I've been going into the opposite. I'm proving that I'm not needy. I don't need anybody. I'm proving this to
But
myself.
that's not, but it's not clean. It's not clear.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a compensation. It's like, this overlay of patterns playing that kind of, layer. So we just seem.
Yeah.
Just getting a sense of it in this moment. It's okay just to be, not no allegiance to either pattern. You just you see that old information. You can see it. Okay,
Yeah.
just pass on. It wasn't any bad intention. It was just unconscious and automatic. And two very different, like different patterns. One, I need you, and the other was, I reject that neediness. And it's not okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a little feeling that actually it's okay to have a need. But I still feel very doubtful about that. I still think, but it's not pleasant to need something.
So what's the difference between having a need and being needy?
Yeah.
And projecting that need onto somebody?
Ooh, that's a big difference. That's helpful. Yeah, that's helpful now. I always put them in the same position somehow.
Yeah.
It's really helpful to see that.
Unconsciously that would happen. You wouldn't, I don't think you would do that, but it's what happens unconsciously from within that confused information.
Feels almost like something's turning around now in the system. It's like dizzling everywhere because that's it's bringing me really back to something very real. That there is probably it's okay to have this need sometimes for touch, or also for trustfulness somehow. I mean, I have the need that I can, that's, yeah, again, I'm not so clear about that, the need
So let's
to
take
be in a
moment.
trustful relationship or something, trust.
So that, yeah, so then let's explore what that means. You know, it's like, because for me, if I go to sit on a chair and I can see, wait a second, that chair is kind of old, and you know, I'm not sure that it can hold me, especially if I start leaning back on two legs of it, there's a chance it's going to collapse.
Mhm.
So, you know, we always, like, you know, you get into a car and you, whoa, what, you know, this may be the brake. So another way of saying it is, I can trust, like, for example, a junkie to be a junkie. I can trust a thief to be a thief. And if I try and trust a junkie that they're not a junkie, so then what am I trusting? I'm trusting my own, you know, this capacity in me to see.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
So,
it's really down to earth.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So if I, you know, we with someone and there's patterns playing in that person. We know that those patterns are going to keep happening unless there's a deep interest
Mm.
to meet those patterns.
Yeah.
So if I meet someone and I can see that our interests, you know, don't line up, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so I go into it because it's better than nothing, or whatever it is. Then I go, oh, now you know, I couldn't really relax with you, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm out of tune with, or something's out of tune. I won't even say I'm out of tune. There's just old information playing in me that's not letting me see clearly. So, you know, almost everyone that I've ever met has unconscious patterns playing. And the trip when unconscious patterns meet unconscious patterns, very often it goes in the direction of pain ping pong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hurt happens, and then it tries to hurt because it knows very well what will hurt, and then it goes backwards. It's pain ping pong, I call it. Yeah, just so. What allows us to step out of that?
Yeah.
If we want to get the other person to be different, or to see the error of their ways,
it's not.
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. Never going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, you know, that'll happen until it's seen. It's like, you know, it unconsciously would be, no, you're mine, and I want to have a happy life, so you better be different.
Yeah, that's totally the pattern. It's the pattern, and now I can see that this pattern is only now able to leave the system, because only now I felt that underneath this pattern was fear of losing this masculine that I need, or you know, this kind of, that was
So how,
now I'm confronting this fear, confronted already.
So
Yeah.
maybe it's, rather than confronting, can
Yeah.
you find the masculine in you? When we're using the word masculine, it has nothing to do with the penis.
No,
We're
no,
talking
it's-
about we're
if-
talking
if-
about energy, yeah.
energy, yeah,
Whatever.
and especially conditioning. Also, we're talking about that what has been like projected as masculine to come back
Mhm.
and be actually only energy. That's
Mm.
how it feels to me now. That's what my mum saw
as awareness.
masculine, or yeah.
So we're making a distinction now. This awareness is here. That doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything, doesn't need any special circumstance. And yet there's old information, conditioning, trauma.
Mm,
That awareness is actually untouched.
totally. Mm,
So we're not over-focused on the pattern, we're just recognizing, okay, there's been instructions and the system has been confused
mm,
and functioning through these different perspectives and without so familiar, so habitual,
yeah.
it doesn't even register what's playing.
Yeah.
And so we're just taking time to see, okay, there's patterns, they're not my patterns, they're patterns that have been passed on, and really identifying what the pattern is
Mm,
as close as we can. And there'll be different layers to that too. But we start with, just getting some sense of the
mm,
backdrop, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's almost like this space can look gently on that
Hmm.
and even hold it somehow with compassion or something like that. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so now in that, just sensing if there's any difference now in how your system meets the masculine. So in that sense of the masculine in me.
Mm,
And so just, you yeah, and just getting a sense of
it
seeing
feels
what's,
mm,
feeling what's the same, what's different, where is it meeting itself differently? Where does it make itself small? Where does it, where does it, just looking where this old, like thread, so to speak. Or can it just meet itself? Yeah, no.
mm. That's both at the same time now. It's nice to see. It's like there's really, I can see only beauty in that dance somehow. And there is something feeling around, still a bit of kind of old information on my right side somehow, or something that's
Well,
like a bit sort of still holding breath because it's not so safe maybe, or something like that, but it's
So then taking a moment,
mm,
so here now, in meeting what you call me, I'm going to say the masculine, just what's not safe right now? Just resting with that question, just allowing it to reveal. Not being clever about it, not just feeling in your body what's not safe. Yeah, man.
with you everything is safe, also that which still moves around in a bit of a something moving. That's
Yeah, so
still a
just
cloud.
sensing where your system is getting new information about meeting the masculine, just in the house meeting here.
All I can find is that it's really no different to me, and to that it's not. It's one. It's the same. It's there's nothing that has to be kept outside. We are the same. That's how it feels. Can you feel that also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like there's learning happening. So
Mhm.
the system is recognizing this sense of not being safe. Wow, it's actually not related to this moment. It's old instruction, old information,
It's an own thing that kind of
and not actually necessary or useful right now.
yeah. Mhm. Wow, thank you. Very good journey. Yeah, it's a big shift. Mhm.
Cool.
Thank you.
So let's just go to gallery view again for a moment. Gallery view. Ah, there it is. Once more, did anyone get any value out of that exploration?
Thank you.
My internet is slow, only a few pictures have come back, so I can't see what the feedback is. You can see everybody?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, so
I could see everybody is. Yeah,
cool. Okay.
yeah. Thank you very much.
So welcome. Beautiful. Slowly, some more pictures are coming on. Sorry for the bad internet, not much you can do about it. So if you wave in your hand, I'm only seeing about half or a third of the pictures. It's slowly coming. A little bit. Nice.
Jacob and Viresha wants your attention.
Okay. Cool. Well, I can't see Jacob at the moment. I can see Viresha, so I can pin her. So, hi Viresha.
Hi, Isaac. I just want to sit some
Now then,
moments with you. I like to rest with you because there's
no
excitement.
problem. Okay, now I see you. Great.
Okay. Did you hear me?
Yes, I did hear you. I just
Excitement
so now I see you.
concerning the surgery on Friday. When I think about it, yeah. So just rest.
So what in you like looks for that excitement?
Mm. Mm.
No one's
The-
forcing you to think. No one's forcing you to
no,
think
no,
about
no,
this.
but it's happening, yeah. The mind, yeah,
Yeah, so,
thoughts, yeah.
so what is it? What? Just taking a moment. There's something that, and it's not wrong. It's not bad. It's just like something in you chases that excitement. It's fascinated by it. It wants to kind of. Just resting. What is that? There's something. Because when it chases it, it goes into like I could say a personality or a perspective of being a victim in some way. Yeah.
So it's the holding on the personality or
So so again, just looking for instruction. Where in your upbringing, where was someone playing or seeing through was that pattern of being a victim?
Say it again, clear the question. I didn't get it.
Okay.
Who?
In your family dynamic,
Yes.
was there some one side or the other, or maybe both, that got energy from being the victim?
Yeah. Mom.
Mom, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
and then, what was your dad's instruction? How did your dad treat that pattern in your mom? Probably projecting it onto your mom, but how did the pattern in your dad relate to the pattern in your mom of being fascinated by being a victim? Getting attention for being a victim.
Yes.
How did the pattern in him relate to that? How did he treat your mom when she was in victim mode?
Maybe more nice. She got more attention or a new dress or something. They didn't act so openly. Yeah.
So was he at ease?
No.
No. So how did his system relate to it? Did his heart close? Did he open? Did he feel compassion for her? Or did he not like it? What was his response? Or the pattern that played in it?
Not so clear for me. Not so clear, but I can see that when you speak it, that's people who are victims get more support, attention, whatsoever.
What quality of attention do they get?
Say again?
What quality of attention do they get?
Well, help is offering or support, something. Yeah.
Do they get met and seen as the beloved, or do they get met as and seen as a victim?
This yeah, the victim, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they get support, but Do people feel pissed off or how do people or annoyed or underneath?
Yeah, all this. Yeah, depends on the people. Yeah, on the patterns. Yes.
So the quality of attention happens through that feeling and acting and believing that and identifying with being a victim. When life is looking through that perspective of being a victim, what's its capacity then to feel someone else and to really meet someone else?
Yeah, I can see it. Do you think this personality plays the victim, or?
You tell me.
Yeah, because you're talking about this victim.
Yes. I mean, we just went through it very clearly.
Mm,
So, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about a pattern.
mm.
And there's something that,
Yeah,
like,
there's some. Yeah,
the thoughts keep going to something
yeah.
that
I
produces
can
this.
see it. Yeah.
So
Now I
somewhere,
see it clear. Yeah.
somewhere there's this
Yes.
entanglement with, victims get support and victims get good attention and all this, but it's not true. And the price is quite high. So we just, allowing that to come into view. It's not wrong, it's not bad. But
Yes.
okay.
I can see it also. Yes.
There comes a breath.
I couldn't see this entanglement with the. Wow.
Of course.
Mm.
Of course, a lot of times it's so close we don't see it at all.
Mm.
Let's just go to gallery view. I would like my on my internet
Yeah.
speed would be nothing. Oh, now I can see everybody. How many of you can relate to that victim? Okay, cool. Awesome. And then as we just explore that, what happens in you guys? What comes into view? If anything.
Mm.
When we are in this, it keeps the suffering just alive when we are in this circle.
No doubt.
And the other thing is just coming out and moving much more free.
And so, in a certain sense, once we're in it, and then it doesn't resolve, it just keeps playing again and again. What happens then?
It takes so much. I mean, for me, it was like exhausting and takes so much energy. Just drying out because you don't get what you really need. This authentic meeting. Yes.
And so it never completes its cycle because it's
never.
keeps going back to itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're just
Yeah.
looking at completing that cycle. Okay, victim came and it's done. Okay, yes, I see it. Not necessary, not useful. But that only really happens in the clear sea. Okay, wow. It's not me, it's a pattern. So what allows a pattern to integrate? What allows? To me, it seems like they can only function unconsciously. Once we start to become conscious of them, we start to really see all the different layers of it.
I feel different. It's something, it feels different.
Feels
It's through
different,
this clear seeing, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't see it before, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
Anybody else want to speak anything around this? Laga, I'm not sure how you say your name. On the bottom left of your screen is the little red thing. If
Yeah.
you click that, yeah, now
Yeah,
you
you kind of got it right, Lauge.
Lauge,
It's a little weird for non-Scandinavians, I guess.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for having me on. Like I'm in like the hardest crisis of my life right now.
Okay.
And yeah, basically just revolves around like getting everything stolen from my bank account.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it feels like, you know, raped by the system.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've gone through a lot of things, but this one just like made me flat out lie down for at least 10 days, where I was just in this completely lost little child that was raging against the yeah, something that was unconquerable.
Yeah.
And that changed like this Friday, then it changed into rage.
Yeah.
Which was just as uncontrollable, and like I'm just, I don't know, like it feels like I'm either drowning or just yeah, just existing on somewhere on above or below the surface.
I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
So who got into your bank account and
Oh, the state. The state.
the state did it? Wow.
Yeah.
And on what pretext?
Oh, they
What
think
did
I
they-
owe them
what was it?
an insane amount of money, which they just like, you know, made up. But I mean that's what it is, like, you know, I can sort of cope with that. It's more like my emotional.
No, so we're just looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think many people are starting to wake up and see that the state is not necessarily our friend. You know, that there's corruption, basically.
Yeah, nothing but.
And so, yeah, and so, you know, then on a practical level, just seeing, okay, is there anything practically that can be done? Because if it's, you know, a
There
lot of
there is
times,
there is
is,
some
eh?
practical stuff that can be done, and I'm in the process of doing it, but I just have difficulty just existing at the moment.
at the moment, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, cool. So you
And
are taking steps, you're doing what you can in that direction.
yeah, but the worst part of it is like the bank is in, like, you know, they think, oh yeah, they're doing the right thing, and they've even frozen the last of my money on that account. So it feels like you're just being screwed over and over again, and there's like
Yes.
nothing you can do about it, really.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
These
And
are the
it's-
times we're in.
Yeah. But
And so, you know, you notice that it's had an effect on your system, and it's touching old existential information.
Yeah.
And your system is cycling through fight, flight, freeze, overwhelm, collapse.
Yeah.
And that's all of that is just touching old trauma, just so that you know that.
yeah, I know.
Just identified.
I know this already. And
Yeah, you know
it's been especially hard because I've had like a huge shadow side regarding to hidden anger, and also like these kind of like anger reactions where I'm just going into like absurd revenge patterns in my head, and it's been like horrible.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
to recognize
Yeah.
that happens,
Yeah.
and if it was up to you, most likely it would not happen.
Yeah.
It's like when there's a certain activation in your nervous system, that's what it does, because it feels so powerless, and that revenge is a means of trying to get power back.
Yeah.
So just to see it, it's a automatic cycle that's doing its dance. That doesn't mean anything about you.
Yeah.
It's trying to provide you with the energy to take the practical action you need to take, but in a not a very useful way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just feel what's happening now. You know, you spoke, and you were heard, and nobody tried to fix you, and nobody tried to change you. Just
Yeah.
compassion, feeling with you. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Just watching gently for a moment or two. What
Sorry?
happens? Just watching gently as we hear, you know, like you on a practical level, do you have enough support in your friends and family that you have enough money to buy food and
Yeah, that part is taken care of. I like that. My
And-
main problem is more the emotional thing, because
yeah,
I'm
but so yeah.
yeah.
So we just see, you know, you just checking to see that actually, okay, so your existence is not threatened, but yet, you know, there's injustice happening, there's corruption happening, and the system is dealing with, you know, betrayal and somehow, a bunch of information.
Yeah.
Just as we've been talking, does your system get moments of more calmness and then
Yeah. The change is evident.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's just so massive that it's very, very difficult to even get close to it without it getting into some thought pattern, which I'm completely unable to control.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Which just keeps it like going.
The moment you notice it starting to spin like that,
Yeah.
there's something called resourcing yourself. So, whatever it is for you that resources you, whether, there's a bunch of old videos of meetings, which might be a resource for you, or if you've got an animal that you enjoy, or a walk in nature, or hanging out with a friend, or whatever it is that you can find to resource yourself, looking around at the things that you're grateful for, just whatever it is that allows your system to calm down. Like to take action before your system is calm, it's not advisable.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's high activation, and the main thing is just finding things that can resource you.
Yeah.
Getting enough sleep when you can.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's 3 meetings a week. You're welcome every time to tell if this is a resource for you.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to spend more time with you. We've actually run out of time for this meeting.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm happy to spend more time with you. And
Thank you.
yeah,
Very much.
you're welcome. Man. But you have family and friends that are there, they have your back.
I do. It's mostly like the level of, how can you say, like availability, emotional availability.
Yeah, for sure.
And
they have your back practically. They don't know how to meet you emotionally.
Exactly. And I have some very good friends that would really do anything for me, but like they don't have the capacity, and that means it's very difficult to regulate myself with them.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Whew. Yeah. Whew.
Big opportunity, nothing. It's like really
I know.
like somewhere not what you wanted by any means, but also an opportunity to very come in touch with some things that were going on in your system. Nothing else could bring it up like this could. So
Yeah. I have been thankful for it.
Grace.
Yeah.
It's a weird kind of grace, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
It's good to meet you. It's good to meet you. And
likewise.
Thanks for your vulnerability in this and your honesty. Yeah.
Couldn't be any other way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Full lager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you all for showing up. I see you have your hand up, Lisa. We have, as far as I can see, we've gone over time. Is it short or is it Liska? Oh, did you raise your hand? No, okay. So saying goodbye. Okay. Cool. Boss, appreciate you hosting. Appreciate you all showing up and exploring. Quite intense times for humanity, so be gentle.